Hey, kid, let me let you in on a little secret. Rumor has it that color is the cat's meow. And I've got it on good authority that color is an important element of design. Well, I've seen some shady characters skulking about, so I'm gonna make like a tree. But first, I've got a contact. She can tell you more. She's a bit of a colorful character, just to warn you. Gee, it is. I've said too much. I've gotta go. Good luck! Hi everybody, I'm Casey from Laurel County 4-H. Pardon my antiquated friend there, but she is right about one thing. Color is really important. It's an important element of design, like she said. So today we're going to make a color wheel, and I'll just run you through how to make this color wheel if you don't have a printer at home like I didn't. So you're going to want to draw a circle. You can find a circular object in your home and trace it. You can divide the circle up into 4 even slices and try to evenly make it into 3 slices. You can do that to every single fourth. Once you've done that, you'll end up with 12 pieces total. Here are all the colors that are going to go on your color wheel. You can go ahead and add these as labels. Alright, so now that you are completely prepared to fill in your color wheel with your colors, I'm going to use a bunch of different techniques. You can do any of these, all of these, or make up your own ways to fill in your colors. So I'm going to use paint, crayons. I'm also going to use a little bit of collage, which just means that I cut these pictures out of magazines, looked for the colors that I wanted. So you can use any of those techniques or just one of those, whatever is convenient to you. So we have 3 primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow. And so these are primary colors because they're the basis of all other colors. They're how other colors are formed. And we'll talk more about that when we get into the colors. Okay, so let's start with one of our primary colors. And I'm going to do paint for yellow, but you can use whatever you're using, whatever you have around and available, as long as it's yellow. So we've got our paint. We're just going to fill in our yellow space to start getting this color wheel a little bit more colorful. Alright, if you're using paint, remember to wash your brush off so you don't ruin your brushes. Alright, so we're going to move on to another primary color, and that's going to be our blue. And so I'm doing a collage for this one. I've just found a bunch of blue from a magazine and cut it out, and I'm going to see what I can fit in there. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Straight into gluing. So remember, the thing that makes a primary color, like blue and yellow and red when we get to that, is that you can't make it with other colors. Those are the colors that you actually use to make every other color. Sorry, horse. Alright, we've got our blue filled in. So let's move on to our next primary color, red. And I've got red paint for this one. And you could get as fancy as you want to. You could add little swirly designs or anything you want that are also red inside of this little red triangle. Just want to give you some ideas of everything you could do with this. Alright, so we're going to move on to our secondary colors. Now, secondary colors are colors that can be formed from mixing together combinations of our primary colors, our yellow, red, and blue. Secondary colors are violet, orange, and green. So we're going to move on to one of our secondary colors, green. So the way you make green is yellow plus blue. If you mix those two colors together, you would get green. And so I've got a crayon for green, so we're just going to go ahead and fill that in. And another idea of something else you can fill this in with and make it more of an active outdoor craft is you could go and find objects outside like leaves and flowers and put them on your color wheel. Okay, so we're going to move on to another secondary color, orange. Now the way you get orange is yellow plus red. If you mix those two together, you'd have orange. We've got a collage for orange. Now I could definitely call that good enough, but I guess I'll color the little white with an orange crayon just to fill it in for my own satisfaction. So let's do our last secondary color on our wheel. We're going to fill in our violet. Now I'm going to mix paint together for this one. You need blue and red to make a violet color. So we're going to literally mix them this time with our paint. You can take your time mixing your paint until you get a nice purple, a nice violet color. Mine's a little dark, so I think I'll also do this one with crayon just to represent a little bit more of a pure purple, since I didn't take too much time mixing my colors. It's a little bit dark. Okay, so we have filled in both our primary, which are colors that are our starting point, and our secondary colors, which are made from our primary colors. So all that's left are something called tertiary colors. Now, tertiary colors are colors that you get when you mix a primary color and a secondary color together. So we're going to fill in our yellow-green. Now the way you get yellow-green is yellow plus green, which is a primary plus a secondary. Okay, and I've got a green-yellow crayon, and I'm going to see how that does. And it's a little bit more yellow of a yellow-green than I want, so I'm going to also do a little bit of just a green crayon really lightly across the top of my yellow-green. Alright, now moving on to fill in our next tertiary color, yellow-orange. Again, it's exactly what it sounds like. Yellow-orange is made by adding yellow and orange together, which is a primary and a secondary color. And I'm going to mix some paint again. That looks like a good yellow-orange. It's just an orange with a lot more yellow added in there. So we're going to fill in our red-orange, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's red plus orange, which is our primary and our secondary colors. And we are going to use 2 crayons. I've got red and orange. And crayons can be kind of hard to mix, so what I'm going to ask you to do if you're going to try this is just to go a little bit lighter than pressing all the way down. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next tertiary color, red violet. The way you make red violet is violet plus red, which is a secondary plus a primary color. And I have a crayon that I'm going to try that says violet red on it. So I did use a violet red, like the color was supposed to be. I layered on top of it a red and a purple, which are the colors that we were going to combine anyway, just to bring that color a little bit closer. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next tertiary color. You make blue violet by adding blue and violet, our primary and our secondary colors. I think I've got a blue violet crayon, but you know, you can fill this in any way you want to. And I can already tell this is kind of more purple violet than I want a blue violet to be, so I'm going to add some blue crayon right on top of this. Okay, so we're going to do our last color, a tertiary color, blue-green. You make blue-green by combining blue, a primary color, and green, a secondary color. So I'm going to do this one with paint. And I've got a blue and green to mix together. Alright, so we have our color wheel completely filled out. Now, you know about the kinds of colors, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Now let's talk about the relationship between colors. So a color wheel is actually an illustration of all of the color relationships. That's why they're located exactly by the things that need to be mixed to make the next color. It shows how they're related to each other. Now there's also some relationships, and we'll go through those. So a complementary colors are directly across from each other on the color wheel. So you can use your own color wheel and see which colors are complementary to each other. Complementary colors make each other seem more intense. For example, red, which is directly across from green, those are complementary colors. They will seem more intense when they're beside each other. There's also something called analogous colors. Those are colors that are side by side on the color wheel. Analogous colors share a common hue, which helps to create harmony in a design. So blue and blue-violet, for example, are analogous colors because they're side by side on the color wheel. Colors can also have different values, and a value is just a lighter or darker version of a color. So if we have blue, for example, we can add white or black to that color, and it will make it lighter or a darker blue. When only one hue is used in a design, that's called monochrome. A good example of monochromatic works would be Picasso's Blue Period, where he uses the same hue, blue, as the color for everything in a painting, but varies the values so that it's just monochromatic. It's not using any other hues, any other colors. So colors can also be warm and cool, and you can see a division on your own color wheel even of warm and cool colors. So warm colors are colors like yellow, red, and orange. And cool colors are colors like blue, green, purple. And so there's like a division you can almost see of warmer colors versus cool colors. Thanks for making a color wheel with me. If you make one, I'd love to see it. If you want to tag Laurel County or hashtag LC4H News, I'd love to see them. And I hope that you learned something about color today. Gee, Willikers. Yes, it is what it's cracked up to be.